Welcome everyone to another video in our Bryan Fundamentals series where I try to get better at Bryan day by day and bring you along for the ride. So, for today, we're going to be covering Lars again for hopefully a shorter video than the last few, because this time we're going to be going just through his limited entry. So limited entry is, I believe, new to Tekken 8. And my understanding is it has a lot of rewards. We're not necessarily in a good situation blocking, but we will go ahead and start with going through the moves in this kit. We'll then find out the moves that transition him into this state and figure out what are the frames of those situations and what options that might open up for us if we are looking out for the moves that transition him into limited entry. And then we'll come up with some counterplay and some drills that I will be using in between my ranked matches that happen after this session. So, with that being said, let's jump into things. This should be a shorter one, as you can see. Between dynamic entry, which has like several, and then lots of entries and like ways to get into it, and then silent entry similarly. Limited entry only has 3 moves, so hopefully, this looks quite a bit more of a simplified mix-up, hopefully. So we'll start by just saying like sin down is manual transition, and then from there we got limited entry 1, limited entry. Oh, okay. 1 heat, and then we have limited entry 2. So this is actually even more even more simplified than I realized, because I didn't realize that both of these are the same input. So these are, okay, that's interesting to know. And I think I know what that is. So, okay, cool. Let's just go ahead and look at what these are then, and what they do, and then we'll go from there. So first of all, we have silent entry. So silent entry, I believe, is, let's see, is like this. So you basically hold forward 3 to go into dynamic, press forward again to go into silent, press down, and he does this kind of spin around. So, and then he does this. Okay. And he does a low. Interesting. So this is a low. It's a 16 frame low. So this is limited entry 1. I-16 low. This is not what I thought it was. And then what if I'm in heat? Ah, it's like a hell sweep otherwise. So basically, so I-16 low as well, I believe. Yeah, still a low. I see. So he basically gets access to a pretty strong hell sweep here. I-16 low. So we're going to say that this one is knockdown hell sweep on hit. And then the other one, but let's turn off his heat for a second and look at the other version. It's +4 on hit for the other one. So +4 on hit. But on block, because we typically do our block first, we want to see that. So set him to block. -12 on block. Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad. And if he's in heat, wait, what? Okay, so -12 still. So the frames stay the same. It's just that the frames stay the same. It's just that the reward that he gets is much higher. And then last we have limited entry 2. Sorry, not this. So that is I-16 -9. So I-16 mid, -9 on block, and then on hit, that looks like a launcher. That looks like launch on hit. It's so far away, but like Lars can definitely close that. Probably do something like that to close the distance and get in. So okay, so this is rather straightforward, right? I'm going to shorten this hell sweep to just be HS on block. That we're just going to remind ourselves that means hell sweep. Cool. Great. So this is pretty straightforward so far. It's just 2 things to worry about. And now we're going to go and look at the move list, and we're going to find anything that transitions into this. So we're looking for anything that says goes into limited entry, which there should be, because the other situation that we would be in is essentially anything that goes into silent entry, he can choose to go into limited entry instead for a stronger 50-50 if he thinks we're going to block. And that's where this mind game kind of comes in. But here's one. So we have a few that just go straight into it. So we have 1-4 down. We'll transfer into limited. We have 2-1. And then we have 3 down. And this is actually pretty nice to see, because this basically, the down input means that they can choose not to do it, whereas if there is no down input, then they are forced into it, right? Shift to silent entry, dynamic, silent, dynamic, dynamic, silent, dynamic. Down 4, 1, 3, down. Wait, no, down, back. Down, back, 1, 3, down. Okay? And this is, I think, where we start to get into the more interesting bits, is that it's a very simple 50-50. But the question is, like, what can we do against the moves that are putting them in this situation? While rising 2, 3 down. So while standing 2, 3 down. While standing 3 down. Full crouch. But it's on hit, you go to limited entry. So I'm going to say full crouch, 3 + 4 down. I'm going to say neutral down on hit, because I don't know what's going on there. Shift avalanche flip. Huh. Oh, here's one. So den 4 down. Den 4 down. Okay. Interesting that nothing in silent entry takes you into limited entry. It's something to keep in mind. The only way they go into it is just they manually go into it. I think that's kind of balanced. And then just going through these, but I don't think the throws or anything like that is going to affect anything here. Okay, cool. Not bad. So the first thing that I want to check, just because I'm curious, is the full crouch 3 + 4. Like, what is this doing? Huh? Isn't that what it was saying? So, in full crouch, while crouching, 1 + 2. Wow, I read it wrong. Okay, so 1 + 2. Full crouch, 1 + 2. Ah! I see. So this is... Wait, what? Oh, I see. The input is a little weird, because you do have to make sure you press like let go to neutral before you press down again. It really is like full crouch, 1 + 2, neutral, and then on hit. So this is actually something to keep in mind, which means that he cannot do this on block, is my guess. Interesting. Yeah, he can't do it on but only on hit. Okay, interesting. So what do we learn about this? This one is 18 frames, but this is going to probably be used as a, like I said, as like an Oki situation at the wall, if I remember correctly. Low, low. Low, low. -12 on block. And what are the frames if he hits us? It's It's +1, but +3. +3 on hit, +1. I'll put it like that. Okay? That's pretty scary, but basically it just gets a free second mix. Okay. Now we have... Let's go from the top now. So we have 1-4, like this. Ah! Why am I seeing 3s come out of this? Interesting. What is that? Oh, it's a while standing input. So if I do... He's in... Okay, so we learned something very interesting, right? We just learned something very interesting. So it's his limited entry. I'm going to put at the bottom here. Counts as crouch for while standing moves. That's what I'm realizing. So he can actually, when he's in these situations, he can do anything that's a while standing move as well. So he can go... Like, but as long as it's not something that uses, as long as it's not something that uses the punch buttons, I'm guessing. Yeah, because if I do a 2-4 there, a 2-3, 2-1+2, like all of those give me variations of the punch. But I think anything that's a kick will get his while standing moves. So just for the sake of this argument, I'm going to put those while standing moves here, right? So we're just going to put the while standing moves and full crouch moves that don't involve his punches, right? So it's 3 and 4. That's it. He gets 3 and 4. So I'm going to put it right here. While standing 3, while standing 4. And just so that we know what he can do in these situations, we're going to record these as well, because I didn't even realize that's something he can do. So this is the scary one. He's got this like kind of crazy high that launches, I guess. So this is a 20 frame high. I-20 high. On block, it's 0. 0 on block. And then launch on hit. Seems good. And then he also has while standing 4. I-11 mid. This is pretty standard stuff. -6, I think we saw on block. And I guess I can't transition anything from this. So -6 on block. And on hit, +5 on hit. Pretty respectable normal while standing 4. But it's important to know that these are there. Okay, so now as we go back into this situation, wait a second. Okay. I see. And then if you hold it for just a little bit longer, he can go into full crouch. And now I see. This is a little bit more complex than I thought it was going to be. But the idea is that if he holds the situation, he can be in full crouch. See that? So he goes into limited entry, waits a little bit, and then does something. But I think this is something to keep in mind, because if he does this stuff on block, we might be able to just fight back, right? So that being said, this is comes out of the jab, so it's I-10. I-10, high, low. And honestly, I think we just want to train low parrying this, to be honest. I think that's really the answer in this situation, but we'll go ahead and keep going. See, this is -12. So -12 on block. And even if he goes into into a transition, we'll be able to do something about that. Like if he goes, something like this, right? And we block that, like that's gonna happen. Like you can do this. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're gonna be able to kind of, we can fight back with that. So that's, but still. On hit though, +3. It goes from +1 to +3. So this is the same thing that we saw from before. So +3 on hit, +1 otherwise. Okay? And then 2-1. And that puts him straight into it. Like he has to do it. And this comes out of a 10, high, mid, high, mid. So I10, high, mid, on block, -6 with the transition. And then, which means pretty much he's got nothing. We can forward 3 in that situation. And then on hit, it's very good. It's +8. You're blocking in that situation. But that's essentially the idea. Is like I think that he can do that as his 10 frame, his 10 frame punish, and they'll be pretty good. So interesting, this one. I wonder if this is a combo thing. Let me turn on counter hit. No. Weird. Okay. So this is I15 high. I15 high on block. It's -17 unless they transition. At which point it's -11. So -11, -17 on block. On hit, we said it's 0 on hit, otherwise it's +6. +6 on hit, otherwise it's 0. So the reward is good. I'm wondering if this has something to do with the fact that I don't think Lars has like a normal 15 frame launcher, so that maybe like he has one at 16 you can see, but maybe it's because he doesn't have a 15, so he goes for that. I'm not sure. Now we have down back 1-3. Okay, so this is a low high, and its speed is 17. So I17 low high. On block. Oh, that's interesting. I guess you can just hold it. Let me see. Oh, it's just like it's impossible for the other one to hit at that point. So like on block. Interesting. It's it's basically with or -12. Like, okay, so I'll say it's like -12 on block, but I'm gonna put like a note down here, like high whiffs if low blocked. So it's like it jails you to block the whole thing. Okay. And then with the transition, this one's down back 1-3. He'll still do the transition. He's +3. He's -1,000,000 otherwise. And I don't think I need to know this high frames. Because look at how, like, it's -12 still. So it's like -12 on block. And then on hit is +3. And I'm guessing it's +1 otherwise. So we'll just put that in. +3 on hit, +1. Okay. While standing 2-3 down. So. Huh. I see. So notice how he can go farther away, like this, or he can, like, kind of get in your face and go for it, right? So it's mid-high, though. I'm wondering if that has to do with, like, ducking this or something. But we can, I bet you there's a lot of option selects we can do in this situation. But it comes out of a I13. So I13 mid-high. I13 mid-high. It is -11 on block. Even if we don't transition. Actually, it's otherwise it's -15. And then on hit, +6, -3. Okay, so +6 on hit, -3. Interesting. Now we have while standing 3, which is that I-20. Wait a second. Oh, I wonder, can you do this on block? Oh, okay, so notice, watch this. Wait. So, I can do it out of a while standing 3 here. Oh, wow, you can kind of loop it, can't you? Wow. I think that's what's happening there. Okay, interesting. So, interestingly, he can actually, the whole point of the while standing 3 I'm saying is that he can kind of loop the situation. So that's actually pretty interesting. So we talked about this move earlier, actually, because it's something he can actually do in limited entry. But it's an I-20 high. We said it was 0 on block. But what if he transitions? +4. So it's actually +4 on block with a 0 transition. And then on hit, we're pretty sure it's just going to launch. Yeah. There you go. See? He can launch from there. So launch on hit. Interesting. We did the full crouch one. And then we have dynamic entry 4. And that's because he just do this. So this is, I'm not going to do the block situation as much on this one. I mean, we're going to do only the transitions is what I mean. So it's +3, and then on block, -12. So, it's I-23 low, though. I-23 low, -12 on block, +3 on hit, +1. So the first situation, just looking at these patterns, right? If we just look at the most common situation that's here, you'll see that there's a lot of stuff that is either very minus. It's either going to be very minus on block, at which point we can punish and or get something guaranteed, like a full forward 3. And I'm guessing there's some situations like that. So let's use this as an example, right? If we do 2-1, so we'll say don't block, and we'll do 2-1 into like this, and then 2-1 into this, right? Like the whole point of this, the whole point of this is that you're going to see that I'm thinking that this is essentially a punish from his perspective, where he gets to mix us, right? There's nothing we can do here. See, I tried a down jab there, and I'm already, because this move comes out so quickly. If you remember, it's both of these are I-16. No, yeah, they're both I-16, so there's no fuzzying it, and there's nothing we can press. Maybe a power crush, right? Maybe a power crush, but that's it. That's it. That's all we get, but only if he goes for the mid, right? At which point, I guess you guessed he's going to go for the mid, but like, you know, how much did you risk, right? Meanwhile, if they like get their punish wrong, so for example, if we find ourselves in a situation where we, you know, do something like a while standing 3, and then they go for that, right? And they miss the punish, we have this option for us now where we can really like catch them if they are kind of autopiloting the mix-up that comes after, right? So that's pretty strong. But I think the more common situation is this +3 on hit. Figure out if we have any recourse in that situation, and then if we have any recourse in some of these other more obscure ones. Like there's like a +6 situation, there's a 0 situation, but I think the most common one that I'm seeing is that +3 And then I also want to cover the while standing 3 loop because I feel like that one has some things to think about as well. But let's start with something simple. I'm going to do 1-4 down. Yeah, 1-4 down on hit. And we're going to do all 3 options, right? And then we'll put them in heat and double check, right? So we'll start with 1-4 down 1. And then we'll do 1-4 down 2. Then we'll do 1-4 down while rising 3. Then we'll do 1-4 down while rising 4. Like that. So, and then we'll put them in heat for the last bit. So if I do this, if I go to the right, it catches me. If I go to the left, it catches me. I cannot, and it's I-16, which means that I-16 means that like a 13 frame move is going to trade, but I do have time to orbital. What other moves do I have that are in mid here? I can actually go for down back 4, or even down jab. Like that might be normal. But it seems like that move kind of catches and keeps you in place, right? But we do have the option to orbital it. If I go to the right here, I get launched. If I go to the left, I get launched. If I do a down 4-2, I get launched. I get traded, right? So the down back 4 does work, but the down 1 might be better at that point, but let's keep going. And we probably can't backdash out of this, so... And we can do this, but loses to low. But if he goes for this high, we can launch it. Okay. And we can also duck. So if we know that he's going to go for that, that's actually pretty good. So if I go to the right, I get stuck. If I go to the left, I get stuck. If I go for a down 1, I get stuck. Like I can't down jab here. Can I power crush? I can power crush, but you notice he actually is able to block. That's actually really interesting. And I can't even jab because it's the I-11 and he's +3, right? This is the frame trap. This here looks like the frame trap to me. So let's write down some of these options. So we're gonna say +3 after 1-4 down, etc. So we're gonna say sidestep only beats while standing 3. Duck only beats lion 1 and while standing 3. What is the block frames on this again? And then, okay. So like I said, maybe the answer is just do that. But, yeah, we don't have any, and this puts us into crouch. I didn't even realize. So we could fight back. But, you know, we're -4. So, power crush. Power crush loses to Lionheart limited entry 1. Like whilst I'm 4 can block. Okay. what else did we talk about? Like, down jab, loses to while standing 4. But it beats everything else. So, what I'm kind of seeing here, and let's put him in heat now. Let's put him in heat, because if we put our opponent in heat, that happens. That works. We can't fight out of it, but it's the same situation, but the low just gets better, right? So the heat doesn't change. Heat doesn't change the mind game from what I'm seeing here, in the sense that the options remain the same. It's just that the reward of limited entry 1 gets higher. And I think this is a beginning of where Lars and heat is scary. So, okay. I guess that's our options, right? And then let's do -6 now. Well, I guess at -6 we're good, because -6 he's not got anything as long as we do a mid. But okay, this is all pretty interesting. I think now, so we have the +3. What about at 0? Let's do a situation that's 0 maybe. I'm gonna start by, let's see. So we have, so 2-1's -6 on block. 2-1, I think you just drill forward 3 against it. So I'm just going to put that. Like, 2-1 on block. 2-1 on block. On block. Is just 4-3. Otherwise block. That one's pretty easy. Oops. Dang it. 2-1 on block. 4-3. Otherwise block. -8. Okay, and then another situation that we wanted to talk about was the while standing 3. So the while standing 3 down, if he loops that, right? The while standing 3 down. So while standing 3 down, 0. So there's 2 things to keep in mind here. The first one is he's +4, right? Or sorry, he's plus. Let's look at this situation again. Oh, he's +4. Otherwise, he's 0. Okay, so this is actually even worse than the previous situation. But I want to see how that changes, right? If we think about it, the only thing that changes is that the down jab. I think the power crush stops working. So let's try that. Something like this, right? Basically. I think in this situation... No, we still beat it. Okay. Why is that? He's +4 and this is an I-16. Oh, so it comes out at 12, so we can definitely power crush that. Okay. So that's the same, but if he does a while standing 4... Just that. What the heck? Wait, what? This has weird pushback to it. Huh. That is weird. Dang, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not a Lars Meg. You just smash the 4 after you enter limited entry. Huh, that's funny. So he's actually probably not going for that there. See that? Huh. That's wild. That's kind of funny. Okay. I'll just put like while standing 4 tends to whiff. Just as a note. For this while standing 3 down, right? What else? Uh, Otherwise it's +4 though, and everything else is about the same. So that doesn't really change much. Let me get this guy to stop doing this. Yeah, this is the ideation stage where we're just trying to like find other situations to think about. +6, we're just blocking. +8, we're just blocking the mix. The -12, we'll look at one that's -12 on block actually just to see. Or even -11. No, we tried it. The while standing 3 just came out. Honestly, I think that's it. So I think that's all I want to start with for limited entry. So essentially, what we're going to do is that we need to get used to two things. The first one is that 1-4 is probably not a situation where we want to be in, right? So like, what are the other moves that put him into that +3 situation that would like actually matter, right? It's a down back 1-3, down back 1-3, which is a low high. I just realized, does this jail? It probably does, but just want to make sure. No, yeah, it does. But, you know, just keeping in mind that that's something that can come out. So that's the one that probably is more realistically going to happen. And then just learning, yeah, because all the other stuff is like full crouch 1+2, but it only happens on, it does happen on hit, so, yeah, the full crouch 1+2 situation, and then maybe the down back 1-3 situation are the ones where I want to start like thinking about either down jabbing or power crushing. Is kind of where my head is at. And then if you see they're doing the low a lot, you know, look for that big orbital is kind of where I would put my head at, because I think that if we kind of look at these trade-offs, that's really like power crush deals with everything except the low. Down jab deals with everything except the while standing mid. So I think those are our two like real options to fight back, because Duck has some severe issues with the launching mid, sidestep as well. So because of that, I think power crush and down jab are kind of where we want to start getting into the habit of like kind of letting one of those rip so that we can fight back. And I think down jab is where I would want to start, because I don't think most people are going to be going for while standing 4 from the get-go. So I think throwing in those two moves in as a start, and then having 1-4 be your kind of low parry practice is kind of what I would do for these drills. So I will set those drills up here at the end of this video just so that you can see, and then we will wrap things up before jumping into some range. So let's start with that 1-4. So we'll do don't block, because this is going to be more of a realistic situation. I'm going to take off the heat as well. Opponent heat. And then I'm going to mix in a couple things from my other drills as well. So, for example, we have this. And then we want, down back 1-3. And actually what I'll do is something like that, just so that we are thinking about both. Then we'll do full crouch, something like this. Let's see, so this one's going to be hard to record because I'm not a Lars player, but okay. And then now the last one is like this, basically. And we'll do the while standing 4 to make sure we're being quick. And then we'll do a couple of the other practices that I have been doing. So for example, down 4-3. 4-3 is the one that you want to kind of get into the habit of doing that, of doing a 4-3, our own 4-3 to beat their down 4-3. I'm going to do This one, how does it go? No. No. Oh my gosh, sorry y'all. This one. That one you can down jab against it. So we did a 4-3, we did that. We need this. Let's see. That one. Try it again. That one. And then we're also going to put in one more of these. Like that. So those are all kind of like options that we can deal with. So the idea for this first one is just getting into the habit of, the first one is actually a low parry drill, right? Like, don't let him do that. The second one is a down jab. And this may not work because we're going to be hitting hit, but you know, it's still good like practice, I think. This next one is this one. And that one we can go for a 4-3. This one, you can do a 4-3. This one is a down jab. And you have to be quick about it. Like this. And then this one's side step right. And then the next one is side step right. Realize that it's a different, the 1-1-1-2 strain, and be ready to launch it. So cool. That is essentially our drill for today. Let's go ahead and yeah, and this is what I'll be practicing today. So let's go ahead and do our YouTube sign off before jumping into some rings. So if you're coming from YouTube to learn about some Lars, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow. And really love seeing the new people show up. If you ever want to watch it live, it's going to be at twitch.tv/VonTiban. That's VONTIBAN. We stream Bryan Saturday and Sundays, now 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time. It's an hour of labbing and then 2 hours of ranked. So come check us out there. And if you didn't catch that, this is all in our description down below, as well as a link to our Discord so you can stay up to date with like channel updates, schedule changes, whatnot. And you know, join our community of like-minded Bryan players and other Tekken players just trying to get better at the game together and trying to use fundamentals still in Season 2 to what degree that we can. So with that being said, thank you so much. Good luck on your Lars labbing. He's very strong now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.